don't trust that motor.
I mean, you could just buy it and just reseal the pan yourself. It's just literally silicone on.
Nah, there's,
there's
testing that it still drops oil pressure.
Because the pickup tube gets clogged with RTV, so...
No, I mean, after all those fixes, it still drops if you're at the track at least. The only fail-proof thing that they fucking did for that motor is just run a fucking catch can along with the other shit, the baffled oil pan, and pick up everything.
I mean, catch can won't do anything for oil pressure. Usually catch can is usually for like venting crankcase pressure and stuff like that.
This shit that goes in the motor, or it has like 2 cylinders like this. It's not just one, it's 2 cylinders. I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Well, it's a boxer engine.
Cylinders go like this?
Yeah, they're this way.
No, okay. No, not, what? No. 2 cylinders, 2 canisters outside of the motor.
2 canisters out of the motor?
I'm gonna find a name right now because,
I mean, some people run dual catch cans, but...
Subaru's been building boxers for like how long and they just still can't figure it the fuck out.
I mean, that's just assembly line
manufacturer for it.
Huh?
So there's gotta be one shitty manufacturer for it.
But their oil pan thing, that's assembly line.
How have you not figured it out by now?
I don't know why they do that.
That's assembly line issue though with these ones.
Japanese craftsmanship.
Yeah, selling a car, offering track package, blows motor, don't warranty it.
Oh, you use it? Yeah, no. Voided.
Yeah, voided immediately.
Shitty ass Subarus.
Damn, what the fuck is that shit, bro? It's gonna bug me.
Because the only way that would really help is if you baffle the oil pan. But even with baffled oil pans, I would put like 1/4 of a quart extra, or maybe half a quart extra.
Yeah, that's
just to compensate.
Literally, what everyone's been doing is half a quart more. No matter
I put half a quart more, but because I have the oil cooler, I have to.
More.
I wrote down, so I know what stock takes. I wrote down how much it takes with the new oil cooler setup, and then I add a little bit extra just to be on the safe side. Because the sandwich plate is thermostatic, so it doesn't open until it reaches a certain temp. So it's not like the other sandwich plate. Because I typically don't like thermostatic sandwich plates because I've had one fail, which was on my B20 VTEC. The spring like got stuck, like it broke and it got stuck, and it like kept it closed.
What brand were you running?
It was it wasn't a Cetrap brand one. It was a different brand, but it was expensive. It was like 100.
Accumulator, AccuSump.
AccuSump, that's aftermarket though.
It is, but that's the one thing that's the only fail-proof way to save that motor.
Just fucking
along with the RTV, along with the
dry yourself your motor at that point.
Along with all that shit.
AccuSump kits are very expensive.
Yeah, there's like fucking baller money.
GR86 people, sell your shit and get a better car.
I mean, I have yet to really drive one. I would really like to own one. Amy wants to build one. She's been eyeing one, so maybe in the future we'll build one, which would be kind of cool.
I test drove an FL5 for the first time, and that shit is fast, but it feels so fucking numb.
They're numb cars. My Type R steering is completely numb.
All new cars are numb.
There's no road feel, like whatsoever.
Which goes to show that the STI really was the last mechanical steering fucking car produced.
Even that was numb.
Wait, which SDI?
The one that he had.
The last one.
That was fucking numb as shit.
You
have not been in enough shit boxes.
I had no power steering on a bunch of shit, bro.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, I had no power steering for the past few years before I bought the Type R, and then I went to it and I was like, what the fuck is this?
New car done this.
I mean, I got used to it, but I don't like it. I wish I had more road feel, but...
You got, like, your racks...
It's electric. It's electric. It's electronic steering. So if that motor ever goes bad... I had a friend of mine who had an RX-8. Not Adam, somebody else. Their electric rack went out, and they were driving up on... They were driving up there, and the rack, like, froze. Because the motor went out. Because there's nothing to prevent it from, going,
Yeah.
And that shit's scary. I can't imagine that. Your fucking motor on the rack goes bad, and you're just like, oh, well, there we go. We're going off.
So buy a 90 shitbox.
I mean, if I could afford to buy another 90 Civic and rebuild another one, like the hatch or the EJ, it would be fun.
That car that I sent in the chat earlier?
What car did you send in the chat?
Oh, yeah. There's an EJ for $2,000, bro.
B20 swap. O's, tags, and that's about it.
Also,
okay, our best offer.
On another note, how come you don't like EK?
I've never owned one. I've never had a chance to just buy one. Like every time I kind of looked into it, everybody wants over like $5,000 for a rundown one, and they need a lot of work.
I sold my piece of shit for about that.
Like
There's a special place in hell for you.
Sold my stock Miata for more. Sold the NB for 6.4. Sold the Integra.
Screw you for denying me owning an NA Miata.
Sold the RX-7 Shell for what was it, $8,000 or something? Yeah, $8,000.
You single-handedly you're ruining the market.
Market's already wrong. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I mean, I sold my
Hate the
EJ.
player. Fuck you.
I mean, I sold my EJ for a pretty penny
Yeah.
for what it was, to be honest.
13, right?
No, 22.
Hey, I thought it was 13. I was there with you. What the fuck? I heard 13 going around.
No, it wasn't 13.
Or was that him trying to lowball?
He was trying to lowball, but I told him no.
Oh,
Yeah. It had too many parts on it. I had too much time, money invested into it. So I made money on it because when I bought the swap, K20R EP3 engine from Japan, K20R out of ITR from 04 or 05, I think. Harness ECU axles, the whole swap was like $3,500 when I bought it, like pre-COVID. And then after COVID hit, the long block price like shot up. Like the last time I was calling to figure out how much those motors were, it's like $5-6 for a long block.
Fuck you.
So it's a lot of money now.
Honda motors are fucking
All the
expensive.
older B series and K series stuff is going up in price, unless you go K24, which is the cheaper route, which a lot of people do.
Literally, the K series is cheaper than fucking B now. Literally.
And some like Type R engine wise, like if you're gonna do like a K24, K20 head and do like the other stuff to it, like cams and all that, you'll probably be in the same ballpark, but it'll be a little bit more fun because you'll have the torque of the K24, and then you'll have, it'll be fun.
I still can't imagine paying. You know, the B20 high comp used to be like $480 every fucking year.
The last B20 I ever bought was for the CR-V. It was like $1,000.
Yeah, it's fucking 14 something now. For
The first B20 I ever bought.
Put it this way: you buy that fucking sedan with that B20 in it, you just bought the motor, and you have a car along with it because that motor alone costs the same price as that fucking car.
They went
How
up.
do you go to LKQ and still find that block?
They went up. I bought a new trans too for the CR-V with the transfer case. It was like $1,000 for the trans,
Jesus.
like $1,200.
Transmission, bro.
That was like $2,200. I was like, dude, where are the prices going on these things?
Hold on. How much is a GSR transmission? Because the last one I bought was from Jose, and it was $300. How much are they now?
That's extremely cheap. I mean, it depends on who you buy from, but if you buy from an importer,
I've seen some for like $850.
I can assume anywhere between like $800 and $1,500, maybe for like a stock GSR one.
Jesus.
If it's a Type R trans, it'll probably be more.
Yeah, of course on that. Type R shit's never been cheap, bro. Not on B.
I mean, if I'm gonna like buy a trans out of the box and I don't want to touch it, I'm just gonna buy a Type R trans.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna touch it, but if I'm just gonna buy like a really crapped out GSR trans, I'll just build it, put a diff in it,
yeah.
gear sets, do all that.
It's cool that fucking HMO still sells them,
To who?
the Type R trans.
Oh, they still sell a bunch of stuff. Like they sell seats and
No, I'm
all kinds
saying they
of,
sell the
random parts.
transmission new though.
As long as Honda still makes them.
Yeah, like a crate trans.
Yeah, I know ICB had a couple of unicorns, like brand new in crate, like original ITR transmissions a couple of years ago. I don't know if he still has them, but they were like fresh.
Alright, you guys need to start your episode before
We did.
feels.
We're doing a cold open. This is Honda Autism.
They gotta get my feels.
Honda Autism.
So we're joined by the one and only Cesar, aka Hardver, aka the fastest man on the Touge.
I wouldn't say that. There's probably faster people that just don't say anything.
Records speak for themselves. We're joined today also by the former owner of the page, Jay. He's off camera.
I'm drunk.
He's kind of very drunk. You might hear an aggressive Jay.
That's not happening.
You might hear yelling.
Keep it
What?
civil, keep it formal.
What?
Ramon, you got the helm, take your thing on.
So it's been a couple years since your last one,
Yes, it has.
even though we see each other pretty often.
I know, right? The last one when I was still B series in my EG.
You still have an EG.
I still had an EG.
So
yeah.
for the people that don't follow along at home or follow you, how many cars have you had since then, and what have you been?
So I've had, after the EG, I bought a red EJ Coupe, built that, had that for a couple of years, sold it, and then I bought an FK8 Type R, and for the last 4 years I've been building it and tracking it. It's been a very fun car. The transition was kind of hard at first. The first 6 months were very frustrating, transitioning to that car, going from no power steering to electric power steering. in a personal car. Like if I'm working on somebody's car and I'll just drive it, like it's kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
But going from 90 Civic to this car was kind of hard because I wasn't used to how numb it was. It didn't necessarily like being tossed around like a 90 Civic, at least for my driving and at least how I felt. So it took me a while to get used to it, and then I finally started getting the groove of it. Because the first few months I was like, fuck this car, I hate it, this was like the worst decision I ever made. But after I started getting more comfortable with the car, getting to know what it likes and seeing how it likes to be driven, it's made me fallen in love with like cars again. Mm-hmm. Just because after the EJ I really didn't know what I wanted. I was kind of looking at a bunch of different cars, like I was looking at F80s, E92s, I wanted to get an E46 again. I really did. I wanted to redo an E46 if I could. I was looking at that. I was looking at the new GR. Not the Corolla, the 86. I was looking at that. I looked at a couple Evo 8s and 9s.
That would have been interesting.
It would have been a different approach for me, for sure. But those are cars I've always kind of had a small soft spot for, especially because of Joe. Joe was he kind of gave me a soft spot for those cars, like when I met him. Because when I met him, he was driving an Evo. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't find one for like a really good price. They're super modified, and if I find like a super clean stock one, they want really a lot of money for it. So I told myself, like, if I'm really going to spend a good amount of money on a newer car, the Type R kind of seemed more logical at the time, because full AC, 4-seater, hatch, room for my daughter and all that. And it was like perfect. And I basically had that car stock for 3.5 years, up until late last year is when I really started like doing stuff to it. Because now we have another daily driving SUV that we have our daughter in. And so now I'm thinking about going full send in the car. Because it already has a cage in it, it already has the seats, the coilovers, the brakes, all the cooling mods that I've done to it, which was kind of extensive and a long process. So I'm thinking about doing door cards. I might do like send windows for the rear. Obviously, I kind of want to do a custom dash for it, like do a carbon dash and kind of delete a bunch of stuff that I don't need. But it's just time and money. Yeah. That's all it is. Like right now, I just want to enjoy the car as it sits, see how far I can get with it. Because yesterday I went to streets, finally dipped into the 21s with it. I mean, it only makes 30 more horsepower than stock. The rest is just cooling and suspension. So what I want to do is get as close to 20 or maybe even into a 19 if I can. And then from there, I'm going to start putting aero on it and doing some different changes on it and see how I can progress further and get faster with the car. Because everybody else I noticed, all the other guys, they have aero, they have big power, they have all this other cool stuff that I wish I had on the car, but I want to learn the car more first before I start doing all that stuff. Because I don't want it to be a handicap for me. If I have all the aero, I have all this other stuff, and I kind of plateau and I can't really get anywhere. So I want to figure it out first, and then we'll go from there.
Oh yeah. So how was like the transition going from like your EJs and EGs and like a more analog Honda to like the newer, more electronic, more like newer cars?
So at first, when I had bought the car and started driving it, the first thing I did was put wheels and tires, and then I put brake pads on it. Started driving it, getting a feel for it. I noticed it doesn't like to be tossed in a corner. It likes easier steering inputs. Because before, when I first started driving, I was like, okay, it's front wheel drive. It should be similar. Tried hooking it. No, it doesn't necessarily like being tossed. It actually induces more understeer. At least with my setup, it does. And it took me a while to get out of the mentality from switching from my EG and EJ, because those cars I could toss all day long and do whatever I wanted, and the car would do exactly what I wanted. It wouldn't fight me, it would do everything. This car, on the other hand, when I was learning it, was fighting me every way. And I found something interesting from my friend Duke, who had a Type R. And so I tried R mode with traction control off. So basically, you flip R mode on, hold traction control on you hold the button for 10 seconds. It'll flash on the screen saying it's off. It turns traction control off, I think like 50% or something like that, because I noticed when you turn the wheel halfway, it starts braking.
Interesting.
So it kicks on. And then he told me another thing about pedal dance for the car, which is dyno mode. So that way you can put the car on a dyno, so that way, like on a dyno pack or something, so that way it doesn't have issues when you're trying to do it. And the car drives better in dyno mode, which is the only mode I drive the car in, really, if I'm going to do, fast spirited driving or at the track. Because you can turn full lock, pin throttle, doesn't initiate braking whatsoever. Because when you have it on R mode and you turn more than halfway, you can feel it in the car. You can physically feel it. And it's kind of nice when you're like single laning or just kind of like punting around and you're just kind of getting the feel for it. And also the interesting thing is in R mode, it stiffens the steering. So if you go from comfort, sport to R mode, the steering stiffness will actually change. But the actual road feel does not. That stays the same. It's just completely numb. It's just the steering is a little bit more stiffer to steer. I like the steering feel in R mode, but the only thing is if I want to do the pedal dance, it can only be in sport mode. It doesn't let you do it in R mode. I've tried it. I tried looking up on forums. I tried looking up on different things online to see if I can get it to go in R mode, but it won't let you do it. It only is in sport mode. Unless if I'm wrong and if somebody else has done it, you can correct me on that. But from what I've tried, it doesn't let you do it.
Can you like code that or?
You know what? I was trying to get a hold of HPD because they're the ones who know most on this car, and it's kind of hard to get contact with them. So I haven't really. I've sent a few emails, never got anything back. So as far as coding, I don't think you can because the ECM is already pretty locked from factory. Because I have a 2018, it's not as locked as the newer ones. So from like 2019 to, I think they stopped at 21 models, the ECM is more locked. Like you even have to buy like a little physical jailbreak module. For 2018, you just go to Honda and you buy like a jailbreak token, and then that's it. But for 2019 and newer, you gotta buy a little dongle. I think it's like 70 or $100 extra. They have to plug into the car. It goes into one of the connectors inside the dash. So it's kind of an interesting little dongle piece. So, but the car has been fun. I love the car. It's got great gas mileage. I mean, I just tried redoing my gas mileage the other day. I got 34 as the highest I ever got on it, which was honestly really good for a car that's tuned. But yesterday was the first track day ever I had in the car where it doesn't overheat in 2 laps. The cooling mods I just recently did to it has worked amazing. The only problem with this car is turbo sits really close to the rad. They have really bad coolant temp issues, so they need a lot of work. It's taken me a lot of trial and error to fix the cooling issues. So first I tried shrouding the radiator, spall fans, having them on all the time. It helped a little bit, but temp still skyrocketed. Then I added actually a Mark 7 Golf R CSF cooler in the fog light. In the left driver's side fog light cover, there's a water to oil cooler that goes on the transmission, and so basically I just looped it into the cooling system. It dropped 15 degrees just from that cooler without a fan or any shrouding. So after that, I added a 8-inch ball fan to it, shrouded it, dropped another 5. So it was really good. Took it to the track, same thing again, fell on its face, coolant temp skyrocketing, went to almost 3/4 temp, literally within 2.5 laps. I think that was the time I gave you a ride along in the car.
At the track?
Oh no, maybe it was somebody else I gave a ride along. This was at Budmillow. Oh, you know what? No. I was giving Raph a ride along. This is when that happened. So after that track day, I was looking at different solutions. I was looking at different auxiliary coolers, just aftermarket ones, anything I could just fit in the grill. And then I ended up finding one from a shop called Dedicated Motorsports. They're, I think, somewhere like back east, I think. They have a CSF cooler that's made for a C701 that is the perfect dimensions. That sits inside the front core support, front of the radiator, and that will fit the bumper. Because some portion of the bumper is like, it sits kind of inboard a little bit towards the core support because like all the grill and stuff. And so it was a dual pass cooler, so top feed, bottom, so in and out. So I had 2 ways to go about it. Cut the end tanks off, cut the baffles out, and then just have it re-welded so that way it's just in and out. So basically top port in, bottom port out. But they told me they wanted like $400 or $500 to redo it. The cooler was already $500. I didn't want to be $1,000 into modifying the cooler. So basically I went from 2-18s to 2-12s, which is like 3/4 hose.
Yeah.
Looped one side so that way it's still technically an inlet and an outlet. And dude, I did 10 laps yesterday, straight in a row. Not even, like, just sitting at half. It was perfect.
Hell yeah.
It was sitting at 185, 190, which was like perfect. The only thing I did do is I detuned the car. So it was making 400 previously, now it's making 330. The car was a little undrivable at 400 because it was, you were either on throttle or off throttle. Like I couldn't hold throttle, it would just be too touchy. And the car just didn't like it. So after I detuned it and brought it down to 330, I can hold throttle. It's not on or off. It's super smooth. The car likes it. The car rotates a little bit better when I'm trying to get power on. And it's super nice. For initiating rotation in that car, I kind of have it set up similarly to my Red EJ, where I jab throttle. So on that car, I noticed yesterday when I was at track, I was having a little bit of understeer issues. So I tried something a little bit different. So I increased rebound and compression in the rear. And I added, so I went 2 rebound, 2 compression in the rear. And I had 1 rebound in the front. And I went up 1 compression in the rear. So what I also tried doing was braking a little bit early and then tapping brakes and then powering out. And it actually loaded the front a lot nicer. And it swung it around the corner. So it was actually working in my favor at streets. But, when I'm up there, it's kind of different. When I'm up there, if I jab throttle, the car does what I want it to do. But I want to say because the roads are just so different, you can't really compare them. So I want to say lately I've been kind of more towards setting the car up for track as opposed to canyon driving. I don't know if that's just me just getting older now, but a lot of the crashes I've been seeing lately have been kind of pretty bad.
They've been starting to get out of hand.
They've been getting pretty bad, and it's kind of making me double think a little bit, but don't get me wrong, I still love going up to driving canyons and stuff like that, but I'm a little more cautious now than what I used to be. So
we're far away from the person that flung a cigarette at Circle K, jumped in the other side and chased a bunch of eagle talons and circle.
Just a little bit.
It was the big Cesar moment.
Yeah, I'm not 17 or 18 anymore.
Your balls dropped at that moment.
They
were dropped before.
This man just saw the cars going up the road. He was like,
I'll be right
back, and then fuck you.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Maybe lately I've been wanting to redo the bridge-to-bridge time again, but I'll only do it if Ref and the other guys will spot, because it's too fast. Just for blind oncoming. It's too...
At your speeds, yeah.
It's too sketch. There's very little room for error anyway. And the last thing I want to do is fucking go into somebody who's trying to have fun or another car,
Or yeah.
Too many stuff like a lot. I've seen a bunch of crashes lately at Crest, and they've been pretty bad. Like we went up to Crest because we were just gonna go up to Wilson and just have a fun drive after having dinner. And second corner up, a Focus RS. I don't know what happened, but he was going down. There was no skid marks, no nothing. Went into a family Forester SUV with the kid, the mom, the dad. And dude, they were total. They were stuck in the car, pulled them out, and it was a mess. The dudes in the Focus were drunk, saying that they didn't do anything. 2 of them freaking took off. They left with their homie just sitting there, just dazed out of his mind. And it just kind of got me thinking, like, is this really kind of what we're doing? You know what I mean? But I don't know. It just the more and more I see it, the more and more it makes me kind of think about it.
That's fine. Well, I mean, it's like last time we were up with the tree, and how long did we see those flashlights for? 30 minutes?
Wait, what happened?
We went up to, this was the last time? That car was off the side?
Oh, the Celica.
Yeah.
The Celica, he was in the rail.
For at least half an hour.
And it's crazy because we didn't hear it. And he was not even that far down.
No.
He was like 2 corners down. That was kind of crazy. I'm surprised we didn't hear that.
No, I'm surprised no one else stopped to help.
I know, right? Everybody was just driving by
so we
and
chilled
just
up
not...
a while, and fuck, I noticed like what, at least maybe 30 to 40 minutes before we actually went down, just flashing lights at like down left, and they were just there.
Can we cuss?
I don't
Well,
give a
yeah.
fuck. Yeah, cuss.
We're adults.
Fuck, motherfucker, you're the one running the shit now, so I don't know if you want
Wait,
cussing
the,
or not.
the,
Alright,
no
listen.
change. I hope the
Here's-
kids are
alright,
watching
look.
this.
To the point. That shit pisses me off. At the fact that you just mentioned that not a single person stopped by to help the dude.
Dude, you know what's
Back in the day, that happened.
Well, yeah, that's why like I was tripping out because the lights were there for at least half an hour. Then we go down like, oh no, this dude's in a bad spot.
Well, how many people have you seen me pull out in my M3 with tow straps?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I pulled out a lot of people out of ditches with that car.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like common knowledge.
Courtesy.
Or the unwritten law that if someone's
TikTok kids,
just
dude, I don't fucking
common.
You know what's crazy? So when that accident happened at Crest, we were stuck there for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, they closed everything.
Because they closed everything. They had to airlift them out. The lady was like bad. Like her back was broken, her knee, like some of the bone was like popping out. Like it was bad. And when I was trying to get them out of the car, people just driving by, getting out of their cars, parking, just on their fucking phone, like you can't park here. Like, dude, it just really made me think. Like, is this what we are?
This is what we're.
This is what we're coming to. Like, nobody's helping. Like, I had to fucking yell at a dude, just like, hey, can you help me pull her out? Because it's like, dude, like this is ridiculous.
You see someone that crashed, stop, help out, ask if they're okay.
Check out if they're
need help.
okay. Yeah.
Don't just go
Be
and
a
drive
human-
by.
Be a human being instead of a piece of shit.
Be the change you want to see in the world,
Yeah.
This world's
and that's coming from me.
And obviously, drive as safe as you can.
If it's daylight, don't fucking double lane.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that.
If it's night, it's night. But if it's in the fucking, especially at fucking ECH.
You don't really have to
ACH,
double lane there. Yeah.
Yeah, ACH is a freaking highway. There's absolutely no need to be fucking double laning or doing any stupid shit.
Yeah.
Fucking ACH people.
I wouldn't say that in general. I just think some people misjudge. Like misjudge a turn or misjudge the car. I feel like a lot of it could be error in the person, the way they drive the car.
So Ramon, what is that slogan?
Fuck around and find out.
God damn it. Who did I give this to? Respect the mountain pass, which means respect your fucking self and your limit. If you don't know the fucking road, or if you don't know certain corners that are coming up, then don't fucking go 100%.
Yeah.
Stupid ass fuck. You're gonna piss off.
Like there's a few times where I
He's
have.
gonna yell in this video. It's gonna be great.
I can see it happening.
There's no yeah. There's
it's
no yeah. I'm
brewing
pretty-
slowly.
Yeah, I'm calm.
the mountain pass. What does that mean? I don't fucking know. They're hashtags, dude. What does double lane with Karen mean? I don't fucking know. It's just funny to say.
I mean,
The double laning thing. I'm not gonna go there. now.
You have to
Go
do
ahead.
it smartly. That's
yeah.
all it is. Just
Yeah.
be smart about it.
I just say it like this: during the day, stop being dumb. At night, fucking, if you know the path, go for it. The fuck.
Yeah, to each their own, honestly, on that.
Mhm.
Like, I've honestly kind of been single laning recently, just to kind of get me in a different mindset. Because before, when I used to single lane, I was never comfortable with it. Because all I ever did was double. That's all I ever did. So lately, I've been kind of forcing myself to do it, and I've kind of been enjoying it just because of the mindset that I've been kind of receding back into lately, just because of all the stuff I've been seeing. I mean, obviously, like driving ACH, you can carry pretty good speed, single laning. I mean, it's obviously not going to be the same as GMR or anywhere else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's a different type of fun. And I can kind of see the appeal to single laning just as double laning, but it just really depends on the person, what they
Yeah.
like. It's all preference.
Depends on the driver. For example, you're aggressive as shit. Used to be. I don't know. My
I mean,
point
I
is-
still feel like I do drive aggressively, but
It's very measured.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's matured. He's been driving. a long
like
time.
I it's been a long time since I've gone 100%. To be honest, like the past few months when I have driven, I'll probably go like 60,
So-
60, 70.
Ramon, let me dip a question in here real quick.
It's gonna be retarded.
Is it-
No, just like legit fucking question. You used to go 100%, right? What is stopping you? Is it the family? Is it? What are the reasons that you're not going 100%?
So Amy
I was gonna ask that too, actually.
So Amy did bring up a good point at that after my daughter was born, and she was saying it for my good. She was like, "You gotta stop going 100," because she said the last thing she wants if I go 100, rocking the road, animal, whatever, stuff that's out of my control. I mean, even if you have a perfectly maintained car, anything can fail in a car. Axle, ball joint, control arm, studs, all that shit can fail, regardless of how good quality a product is. I don't care, because I've broken shit that you're not even supposed to break on a car, and you've seen me break shit on a car that's not supposed to break. So all that kind of, I mean, I used to kind of take it with a grain of salt. I was like, yeah, no, I'll be fine. But as I'm getting a little bit older now, kind of approaching the 30 mark, it's kind of making me think, okay, maybe I shouldn't go 100 all the time. Maybe some occasions, if I'm really feeling like going for it, I'll go for it, but not as often as I used to. Like when I was doing the backside time, that was 100, like full send.
Trust me right now.
That was 100 full send. Like when I was doing that run, I locked brakes going like 90 like 3 times. It was very sketch, but.
You fit in the car with the rest.
Yeah, well, fucking Mr. Go ahead, okay, me expecting just like a bill of fucking push me, well, fuck.
Oh, and
Yeah.
when the Type R was still tuned better.
But his driving.
When he poured it in the car was like,
I understand.
you felt the G, I was just like.
And the Type R, you feel it
In the
more
corner.
than my other cars.
What?
It's stupid.
The Type R feels more G's than the EG and the EJ.
Stupid.
Which is kind of weird. I would have expected the other way around.
Yeah, literally. Damn.
But people who have ridden in the Type R.
It puts the power down more efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah. The trans and the diff in that car is really good out of the box.
Yeah, like he poured it, and I was about a video, and I was like, fuck.
He dropped.
I was like, what the fuck on?
What car did you compare it to?
It was like launching the Turbo S.
Which is crazy to me. That's honestly insane to me because because I know how much power that car makes.
It's
But-
the feeling.
How do I explain this? It's when you did the aggressive run when I was with you on Ridge.
Ridge. On what car? The Type R?
EG. Long
You were in the EG?
I was in the EG.
You were riding in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember this. Okay.
Okay. Aggressive, right? But like, you're at I was at peace. There was full on trust. Obviously, I freaking panicked from the passenger seat. For whatever reason, with him behind the wheel, the only other person besides you that's gotten me like completely zenned out and not worried is no, Nate.
Nate, he's a great driver.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while, but I love him. He's a dad now.
Rafa's really smooth.
Yeah, he joined the club.
Rafa's smooth as heck, man.
Yeah.
Very smooth. The way he drove then was aggressive as heck. The way Nate drove back then was aggressive as heck, but it still felt like just calm at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Yeah, like when I drive 100% and I'm pissed off, I drive way differently. It's not as smooth. If I drive 100 and I'm level-headed and I'm calm, it's a lot more smoother inputs. I'm a little more mindful, like on bumps and different areas that I'll like drive through. But if I drive really heated and I really go for it, it's a lot different. Which I don't really like driving like that anymore because too much emotion can really make or break you. You can make a mistake. You can do all kinds of shit. So I try not to do that anymore.
Don't bust the top of me.
Yeah. So, but I was gonna say something and I kind of.
She was
lost my
actually
train
thinking
of
about
thought.
making that real.
What?
When he blows his engine.
Oh, God.
That was you when you blew the engine in the fucking EG.
When I blew the engine in the EG, wait, the Type R motor,
Yeah.
I was literally testing the JRZs. I wasn't even mad.
It just clicked in my head right now. I don't know.
And it was so fucking embarrassing because I blew it in front of Nick, Sassy. I blew it in front of everybody on Ridge through the high speed straight. And I was like, fuck. That was so embarrassing. That motor was destroyed. It was destroyed. Fucking valves were inside my intake. Yeah, it was bad.
It was quiet, then you heard, the fuck was that? Cesar afterwards, I think I blew the motor.
Hey, at least I was able to coast it down front side.
Was that the money shift or was that?
No, so what happened is the transmission case broke, and there's a stabilizer bar that bolts to it.
Yeah.
And so there was, I forget who, but I saw a forum post on a write-up on a dude who used like a IRP E30 shifter, and it actually works. So I bought it, used it, but the only problem is the stabilizer bar is really what like holds it like in gear.
Yeah.
Kind of, but I had an issue on Ridge when I was testing the JRZs out. After I had put them on, aligned it, corner bounced the car, it popped out of fourth gear. I was about to go to fifth gear. It popped out. I had a brain fart, and I accidentally grabbed second. So I grabbed second, going like around 100 miles an hour through the kink into the straight.
Good night.
It was so sketch because it whipped the car out. I thought it was going to put me into the dirt.
Well, because you're
Because
right there.
Because I was like right there. It's either wall here or dirt here. And luckily, I forget what I did with the steering. I did something, and it saved it, and then it just... Luckily, I didn't throw any oil or fluids on the road, which I was so surprised, because when I pulled that engine apart, it was catastrophic. It was horrible. And that was it. It popped out of gear, I grabbed second, and it fucking went past 10,000 RPM. My digital cluster like read like 13 grand. It fucking blew the motor. So I was like, well, this is not good. So, because when I had that motor, RPM was set to like 95. So it was a really healthy motor. It was great. That motor was awesome.
That's a high RPM for a Honda.
It was great.
How the fuck did you get into second?
It popped out of fourth because I was about to go into fifth. Because it happened because on the kink going into the straight coming back from trash can, it's a left hand dip like that. So when I went to mentally put it into fifth, it popped out of fourth.
So you
He's trying to put it back and forth.
I tried going back and forth, but I grabbed second.
Yeah, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, because I didn't want to pop it into fifth
and lose speed.
So I tried popping it back into fourth. And because it's not, how can I say it? It's not the right shifter for the car, so it doesn't necessarily feel very good going into gear. So I accidentally grabbed second, feeling that it was fourth. Because when I was during the bump, popped out of gear, went to grab fourth, and I guess I might have just angled the shifter too slightly because that shifter, it flops sideways when it's in gear. Because nothing's holding it from doing that. So it does this when I was driving, so that's why it popped out. And then that's when I accidentally grabbed second. So that was not fun.
Oh shit.
That was a very expensive money shift. So, and then after that, forget who helped me push the car. They pushed me up the hill. Oh no, sorry, they pulled me up the hill. Because I ended up cutting up one of my old trough harness to use as a tow strap. So we pulled the car over the first hill, like where the top gate is.
Pulled you in the Volvo.
Yeah, you pulled me. So we cut the trough strap, you pulled me up, and then I literally coasted all front side down with just ignition on, just
Still
steering.
fucking hauled ass.
Yeah,
Fucking guy.
I was surprised I made it
The
all the way
fastest I've
down.
ever gone down front side chasing this fucker with it, and his engine was off.
That was kind of funny. And then 2 days later, I was trying to source another B Series Type R, but everything was just so expensive. I couldn't find one for like a really good price, and I was like, you know what if I go K20?
Yeah.
Like K Series, and I was looking into it. It was so much money. Well, because I bought
It's gonna be cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I told Amy. I was like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna be good. But knowing me, I don't like buying used shit. So I bought all brand new gaskets, new manifold, new throttle body. I bought a refreshed trans, new clutch, axles, motor mounts, engine harness. Like I kind of went a little excessive.
You think?
But I'm kind of glad I did because it was honestly really reliable. Like,
Yeah, that car afterwards was fucking tits.
I had no issues with it. The only issue I had was after it was running 85. I kept having issues with injectors and just fuel pumps. That's the only issue.
That's just 85 shit.
85 stuff. But all in said done, I think it was like 15 grand when I was done. Like motor, engine harness, like everything was literally brand new. like when I had did it. So it was
See, that's still not that bad for just like literally brand new.
everything was really brand new. So to me, 15,000 back then. I mean, it's a lot of fucking money, but for being everything brand new, I think it was fine.
No, that's still not that bad.
And I never had reliability issues. And then after I sold the EG shell and bought the red coupe, because originally I was going to keep the EG shell as full race car, and I was going to do a bunch of more stuff to it because I had the rear NBC wide body on it and everything, and it already had a cage, and I wanted to do more stuff to it. I wanted to do like carbon dash and all this other cool stuff. And I said, you know what, I'll keep the EJ single cam, just put wheels on it, just fix all the bushings, do the basic maintenance and stuff on it, which I did. And then, excuse me, it was a great car. Like the EJ was fun. Like we went up,
Yeah, that shit was.
we went up, and it was fun. Single cam, D15 V7.
It's all momentum.
Dog fucking shit slow, but great gas mileage, and it was perfect. It was honestly the best car I've ever bought under $2,500. I bought that EJ for $2,000.
God damn, that's fucking
For $2,000, two owners. The owner I bought it from bought it off an old lady, and he only had it for 3 months. So basically, he didn't even touch the car. It came with the original paperwork from Honda. All the service work done to it. Like it even had the original door sticker on it.
Jesus.
Like the paperwork, they just
Yeah.
had it like in like a laminated like folder thing. It's kind of cool. And she ordered it manual, no power steering, no AC. Is how she ordered it,
Fucking lady was based as fuck.
which was kind of cool if you really think about it. But I kind of fell in love with the EJ. I like the fact that it had all the interior was there. Nothing was cracked. Everything was mint and perfect in the interior. And I was like, the EG chassis was getting tired. It had 300-something thousand miles on it. I had to fix a crack on the subframe. I had to fix some cracks where the tow arms go in the rear of the frame. It was just kind of a beat chassis even when I bought it, because it had some fire damage when I had bought the car. So it was a little stuff to kind of work around with it, but it's a shell that I still miss today because I learned a lot in that car.
Yeah.
And even the EJ, I learned a lot in that car. Like, I improved as a driver more in the EG and EJ than any other car that I've had, personally.
Yeah.
And I had the most fun in those cars. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of fun in the Type R, but the most fun was EG and EJ, for sure.
Oh shit.
And so after I got rid of the EJ shell, I was like, you know what, I have this full swap. Because I wanted to just put a B20 in it. And just keep the K for whenever, you know, maybe if I bought an EK or bought another 90s Honda or bought an Integra. And I was like, you know what, this car's clean, it's perfect, the chassis straight, there's no weird shit on it. The car's perfectly painted, like it was repainted, like it was done nice. And I was like, you know what, let's just swap everything. So after work, I was just swapping everything into it. It took me like a week and a half, just working on it like an hour after work or whatever. And dude, that car was great. Started getting seat time in it. I started getting better. The car actually drove way better than my EG, even though that car was 600 pounds heavier. And I miss it to this day. I wish I never sold it, but I was in a position where I couldn't physically drive it at the time, as you already know. So, but if I could have the opportunity to buy that car back and refresh some stuff, whatever the new owner has or owners or whatever, I would buy that car back in a heartbeat if I could. Not in a bad way.
Yeah, you were the youngest, I think.
I was the youngest going up. Yeah, at the time. Yeah. Now it's probably different, but at the time I was the youngest.
Yeah, it's probably some 18, 19-year-old fucking sending in.
Probably younger. You never know. But at the time when I was growing up, I was the youngest out of everybody at the time. Yeah.
By far.
By far, yeah. Everybody else was like mid-20s, I think.
Oh, shit.
No, because I was 20, 21?
Oh, no, I think it was like Ernie and all those other guys.
Yeah, those two were in their mid-20s. They were fucking old.
Yeah.
That's how old
Mato
you
Chan,
are? God
fucking
damn.
Ernie, was it, the fuck's his IG now?
Oh, fuck, I don't even know.
Keeps changing it.
Destroyer Racing?
Destroyer Racing, you're fucking old, dude.
Are we all getting old? Honestly.
Are you ever pulling up to fucking Toga Battle? Like, you just keep jerking us off, dude. What are we doing here?
He said he was going to show up with Slicks.
With Slicks, and then
like
never fucking did.
twice. I was waiting
3
for it.
times!
Oh, that's right.
Come on,
times.
I'll pay your fee. Pull up.
Oh,
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
Which one?
Ernie with like the white Evo 10.
The fucking massive troll from back
Yeah.
in the day that pissed me off.
I told him I was gonna do the Virginia City hill climb next year. He said he might go.
That's
We'll
actually
see.
badass. I want to see you do that shit.
I'm gonna go next
As
year.
is your,
Huh?
as the car is, you're fine with it.
I'm gonna make some changes before I go though.
Probably maybe.
If I can hit the goal times I want before then I'm gonna do the aero package on the car and then change some stuff.
It's a hill climb, so we'll add some power or nah? Keep it as.
I don't think you need power for it.
The car is at 330 right now. It's only 30 horsepower more than stock. I mean, the car still pulls pretty damn hard, to be honest. Like, it's still plenty of power.
I really want to see that compared to like all the other.
I mean, like, even most 200 horsepower cars in a canyon, it can still be fucking super fast. Like, even 150 horsepower cars can be stupid fast. Like, look at Mike, Night Moves. He's like the fastest NA Miata at T. And he fucking hauls ass in it. So you don't really need like power like that. Yeah. I just don't know how well I'll do because it's a road I've never been on or even seen. I've only seen like 1 or 2 videos.
I have a couple more I can show you right after this.
But it's an event that I really want to do next year. I think it'll be really fun. It'll be a learning experience for me because it'll be a legit first hill climb that I've done like as an actual event. So I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm even debating on trailering the Civic. I mean, I kind of want to drive it there.
You should drive it there.
Just because I feel like it'd be kind of funny if I just drive it there and drive it if I drive back. Because the roads back look really cool. Like if you go, I think it's if you go more up north, right? Mm-hmm. That's the scenic route back, right?
Yeah, you could go through like Yellowstone or Yosemite.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, like driving back, and I think it'd be pretty cool. I know the drive is gonna be fucking long.
I mean,
It's like 8 hours, right?
it took me 7 because I got stopped by CHP. It was like 6.
Why'd you get stopped by CHP?
Because I was fucking speeding. Fuck that guy, dude. I was So the 395 that you take goes from like rural highway and then small town, and rural highway, and it was like 65.
Like flat everywhere?
Yeah, it went from 65 to 55, and I'm still slowing down at 55. And then this fool caught me speeding when I'm slowing down to go into town. He's like, well, I clocked you back over here doing this much. I could also get you for not having any mud flaps. And I was like, but I have a bumper. Well, you're missing that bottom valence piece, so I could just, give you that. But I'm just going to give you the here speeding ticket. And I couldn't do fucking
They'll give you a ticket for no mud flaps? Really?
Fuck the CHP.
I did not know that they could do that.
I was pissed.
Interesting.
I wanted to argue, but I had multiple things on me that I could not argue because I had things on me.
Yeah, let's not make your travels interesting.
I mean, I would just have to get, yeah. But yes, so I couldn't do fucking tribal school.
Ah, fuck.
So I officially have a point on my fucking license, dude.
Nice.
I'm pissed.
Fuck.
I made it this far.
I honestly don't think I would want to drive my Civic if that's the case.
He was just being a dick.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't the only one who was doing the same shit. And I'm like, you let them go. Because he lit up. It was 3 of us that he lit up. And I was the other one that, got stopped.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
You were the chosen one.
It's the second time that's happened to me.
Ah, fuck. I mean...
But it's a beautiful drive up there, dude. Going to Mammoth and all those mountains and those ranges, it's fucking gorgeous, dude.
I want to go. Next year, that's where I really want to
Because
go
they had
to.
part of the 395 closed, so I had to go around the back to the mountain roads, and I was like, I should have brought the Z. I should have brought the Z. It was so fun.
Yeah. No, I really want to go. From the photos and stuff you took, I'm like, alright, I'm kind of set on going
sick,
now.
dude.
Yeah. From seeing all the cars there, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Well, it's a bunch of high-end cars, but so for those of you watching and following along, I went to a hill climb in Virginia City. There's a main street, and this is like an old western town. And it'd be pretty sick instead of seeing a bunch of high-end Ferraris and McLarens and expensive ass cars, just Japanese shit boxes line up the main street. Would be fucking sick.
Yeah, it would. It would. I mean, I'm definitely set on going to it. Even Amy was on board with doing it.
Where's he going?
Virginia City. You're coming with us next year.
Yeah,
No ifs,
I'm
ands, or buts.
100%.
And there's passengers, and you're writing passenger in the Z. Quit your bitching.
I'm 100% going, for sure.
You're denying people of an amazing video?
I'm getting in the car with him.
Yes, you are. It's been more than 10 years. Fucking get over it, dude.
Maybe I'll have a car back.
We both know you're fucking
He said,
lying.
how many times has he said that?
So many fucking
How many
times,
cars
dude.
did I had? I tried with the EK, I tried with the freaking Miata, I tried with
You gave up the EK too fast.
which one? The black one, the silver one, or the other one?
The last one. The silver one?
Black one.
The black one. You gave up too fast.
Oh
on
my
it.
god, I forgot he had a black EK.
Yeah,
Holy
you
shit.
gave up on that thing so fast.
That one was pretty potent, or like ready to go.
Or the fucking, what's his face's Integra you bought that you immediately fucking sold?
Oh, dude, that thing blew up. The next freaking, it was about to blow. Thank God I sold that shit.
When I bought
Whoever bought it, I'm sorry.
When I bought my EG, I got rod knocked literally the night of trying to drive it up to GMR.
I took it to GMR once. That shit, he put, I don't know if he's gonna watch this shit. He put all these nice whatever parts on the damn car, but absolutely none of it freaking worked together for shit. That's all I could explain. Like, it felt good, but
I'm just gonna blame it on you. It worked perfectly fine for him.
he didn't drive it fast.
Damn.
Don't buy show cars.
It was a show car.
What did we learn?
That motor, that engine bay was beautiful.
What did we learn?
Everyone's telling me to get an Integra now.
You should.
I'll
Because
find one
it's
for
like
you.
It's the
Actually, no, fuck you. I'm
I
done.
remember
I'm
you.
done.
I
I'm
remember
done
you most for from the Integra.
Everybody remembers me most from the
I ain't
Integra.
done
That's why
buying- I
fucking
ain't done
Zach
showing
and
you
other
deals
people
and
were
shit.
saying, like, just get
I remember when you kept trying to chase me a few times. I remember that.
that.
I remember that. That was before I met you.
Yeah,
I was like, who's this guy?
Yeah,
Oh, Gapplebee's.
it's because, like, I was still going up and, like, well, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know local. I didn't know any of that crap. Like, I was just getting back into it. I'm like, okay, this is a car. I'm going to try to chase him. He's the most often that I would find up there. I'm going to keep trying and just better myself, you know?
Yeah,
And then I met him.
and that's how I actually met him. And then I didn't know that you guys were friends. So that was kind of fun. It's kind of funny how it works out.
You know that retard too?
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, but it's fine. I love you guys. So
Takes a special kind of stupid.
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known each other for 10 years. Oh, actually, no, longer than 10 years. Longer than 10 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
12 years. 12 years.
Fuck.
Yeah. 12 years now.
I met you in
Yeah.
2016, so that's 8.
Yeah.
Look at you doing math.
The
That's
brain
funny.
not computing right now.
So it's actually one of the really good questions that we got. We didn't get many, so fuck you guys.
Yeah.
What does it take to be fast now?
It's honestly hard to answer that question. Just because there's so many fast cars out of the box. There's so many different parts and stuff available that you can do to cars now. I mean, especially like to these newer cars, you could just do small little things and the car's already fucking fast. Like the new GR86s, they're fucking fast out of the box. Like the new G80s, like the M3s and the M4s and stuff, those things are lightning fucking fast. They're fast ass fucking cars. I mean, they're heavy, but they're fucking fast. I feel like it depends on the person's learning curve. Depends on how the person drives the car, how they get a feel for a car, you know, their ability to progress as a driver and understand how a car works, and not even just driving, but mechanically, like how fast can I go pushing the limit of the car before it gives or it breaks. Like all that, I feel like is part of the big picture, right? Like, yeah, I can build a fucking fast ass car, but how can I drive it? What's the limit of it? What should I do and not do? What part works? What part doesn't work? Because what parts I might have on my car and somebody drives it, they might call it a piece of shit. And they might drive their car and they think it's the best thing in the world. It's just a matter of opinion and taste is how I feel. But I haven't had a chance to drive a lot of new cars recently. But the cars that I have driven for the most part, some of them are well set up and some, you know, need work. But it also depends on the person's budget. Like, work with what you have. You know, I mean, I get it. I can't really say that too much just because I usually kind of end up balling out and kind of spending a lot of money on stuff. But the past parts I've had on the car were like $1,000 coilovers, shitty fucking brake pads. The only thing I usually typically don't cheap out is wheels, brakes, and tires. Those are like the 3 essential basics that I won't cheap out on because those are the main things you really need. You don't necessarily have to have a $1,000 intake, you know, $4,000 set of headers or whatever, but it's nice to say you have it. But sometimes the most expensive race car part won't really benefit you.
Yeah.
You know, like some exhaust headers that were strict have too much flow or not enough flow. Like there's so many different variables on like upgrading and maintaining cars. I feel like the whole market is so saturated with stuff. It's hard to pick and choose a good part because a lot of them promise, you know, performance gain, more reliability, this, that. There's just so much stuff in your face with how the market is now. It's hard for the common consumer who may not necessarily be very mechanically inclined, like you or me or somebody else that might be watching, and they might already know, okay, yeah, I know not to use this part. For the person who's starting out and they don't really know much, I wouldn't say buy the best shit. Buy something that is like, you know, mid-tier, like lower mid-tier, start out. Don't throw a bunch of money at it unless it's a project car that you have to, like rebuilding a motor, fixing gaskets, leaks, and all that. That's like the basic maintenance stuff. But you don't necessarily have to have $6,000 coilovers, $8,000 wheels, brakes, all this other shit. I've seen people fucking go super fast with just basic shit. You don't necessarily need it. But it all comes back down to personal preference, how somebody gets acclimated with the car, how they feel a car out. Because everybody feels a car out differently. Some people want a car to oversteer. Some people want a car to understeer. Some people want a balance of both. And for me, I'm more accustomed to understeer as opposed to oversteer. I don't mind oversteer. I can still handle oversteer, but if it was my preference, it would be understeer. Personally. From the cars that I've had.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like it's best to start out in like a 90 Civic, a Miata. FCs are nice cars as long as they're running right. You know.
What the fuck are you looking at me for? Nah, it's true.
Oh, actually, I have a good clip to insert here.
Oh, you jackass.
Jay's FC starting.
That's a good one.
I was gonna step and say that his response was the most beautifully detailed response that I've heard to that type of question in a long time.
It's because that question is so diverse. I can't speak for anybody. I can only speak for myself and what I've done and what, you know, how I feel a car out. Like a lot of people tell me. I mean, I've had a few people tell me I don't know how to set cars or I set up front wheel drive wrong. I mean, a lot of people have the expectation.
What's right for you is not going to be right for someone else.
Right, and then also, I don't know if this is a controversial topic for tires. The tires that I have driven over the course of all three cars, EG, EJ, and the Type R, I've noticed different tires like a certain type of driving. They're not necessarily all the same. And I don't know if it's because of compound, the way that they're designed, but for example, like V730s, I have to drive differently on V730s than I do RE71s. I just recently tried the new Hoosier Track Attack Pro.
Ooh.
And I'm sorry for anybody listening who likes Hoosiers. The Track Attack Pro, I put 3 heat cycles on them, fell on its face.
Damn.
It's like driving on fucking hockey pucks. It's horrible. They fall off faster than 852s.
Damn.
It's super surprising. The first 3 heat cycles, amazing grip. They're really fast tires. They're narrow. They're not wide. So 265 on my 10.5 felt like a 245 or 255, like kind of dead smack in the middle. It was very fast. The turn-in was great. All that was fine. But after the 3rd heat cycle, dude, it fucking fell so hard. Like cruising at 60, I've never had my Type R oversteer like this on that set. It was honestly kind of crazy. The car would step out so much with those tires,
Okay.
and I wasn't really expecting it. But
You said cruising. So where did you test them out at?
so, for example, like
Oh, actually, probably this would be a good way to split.
Mhm.
Talking shit about fucking Hoosiers.
General question.
know that until after the fact that I had got the set.
I know everybody was hyping them the fuck up.
So, let's say, for example, I was cruising. Let's say I was cruising T, right? I went up to T with the tires after the 3rd heat cycle. Cruising. I was thinking it was around like 70, 80, like cruising up. dude, 5-6 corners, just out of nowhere, and the tires, they get worn pretty quick, on that set. Dude, it was kind of crazy. I've never had the car whip out like that, just randomly, just like let's say going over the roller coaster,
Yeah.
up at T, it stepped out. I've never had that car step out over the roller coaster ever. Like it was very, very strange. And then it stepped out again before first bridge, like on one of the bumps. Never had it happen before. I've driven V730s, I've driven V720s on the car, I've driven REs, 660s. I've driven a bunch of other tires on the car. Just never done that, except for this set.
What about at the track?
I tried them at Buttonwillow on the second heat cycle. They were alright. I just personally didn't like them. Personally. I mean, I did a 59 in it, just cruising with a passenger. So it wasn't bad. But I feel like that's a tire like an AO52. Like first session with that set is pretty much going to be like your PV. And then after that, that's when it just kind of starts like degrading out. It's kind of like AO52, but I think I would prefer AO52 more, even though I'm not really a fan of AO52s. The thing that the Hoosier has going for it, in a 265 RE71 RS and a 265 3518 RE71 versus Hoosier in the same size, the Hoosier's 8 pounds lighter.
Oh, shit.
It's a very light tire. It's stupid light. I noticed the difference immediately with how the car turned, accelerated, and how it felt mid-corner. But the only thing that really pulled me back on the tire was after the third heat cycle is when it like really fell off. Because I can run RE71s to the cord, and it's pretty much consistent until the tire dies out. I mean, obviously you can feel the tire degrades over time, but for them, it doesn't fall as fast as the Hoosiers does. Like it's almost like instant. If you're gonna PB, if you know the car's set up already, you know what the car's gonna do, you know what you're gonna do, and you're certain you're gonna PB, Hoosier or that tire, if you can afford it, go for it. But personally, for me, my go-to is the RE71 or V730.
Question: didn't the RE71 get phased out?
The RS. So the regular R got phased out. That tire got discontinued. The RS replaced it. Mm-hmm. It's a faster tire too.
What if you just made the compound too soft?
I don't know, because supposedly, from what I heard, it's like 0.5 seconds off the R7 compound. That's what I heard. So don't quote me on it. That's what I heard. I'm just going off from what people have told me who have tested the tire.
For every fucking cycles out of that.
Mm-mm. And they only come with 5/32 strut on them.
Do you guys want a pizza?
I ate before I got here. Well, he ate too.
They might have just made the compound too soft.
They might have, but I've tried different pressures. I've tried 29 hot, 28 hot, 27 hot, 26 and 25 hot. Like I went through the whole fucking range.
It's still shit.
And it was still shit after 3 heat cycles.
So just buy Federals.
Fuck, dude. When they were cheap? Fuck yeah.
They're not cheap anymore?
Fuck no.
How much
Well,
are
I mean,
Federals?
a lot of places don't even get them anymore either. Because
Yeah.
they're not DOT approved anymore.
No. Well, fucking
So for the record, if you buy Federals and if you run Federals on the street,
and if you get pulled over and the
If you
cop
get pulled
knows the
over.
law, fat ticket coming your way.
or if you get into an accident with a tire that is not DOT approved, it is automatically
Fat
your
ticket
fault.
coming your
Are
way.
you
That's-
fucking
Yeah, that's-
serious?
Because it's not street legal or road legal. It has to have a DOT approval on the tire for it to be street legal.
That was
Well, a lot of
that was
tires
a big beef actually. FD last season with Vitor, the tires that they had the guys on Vitor running were not DOT tires.
Oh, okay.
So where's Kendall fall on all this?
Ken does a deal. That's
Yeah.
I was talking to Ed about that shit because the Vitor guys had a fuck ton of more grip than anybody else, but they're like, hey, like these aren't fucking deal. Like on all Rome's car, all the foods that were running Vitor. God damn it, he had the Cadillac.
Oh, the 200 Trevor one, right?
Yeah. So
Rafa was on that tire yesterday.
I want to ask him how he liked those.
From who? From
Vitor, the whatever the fuck their tires.
It's
called.
their like newer.
Their
like,
grip tire.
I've been
They're
on
new
it so
track
long.
tire.
I don't know who the fuck Vitor is.
They came up. It's a European brand, but they popped up sponsoring a bunch of FD drivers, and a lot of like Falcon was bitching about it. Nita was bitching about it, Kenda was bitching about it, that their tires on the side had for race use only, and everyone else's tires on FD cars for FD rules have to be DOT tires.
Yeah. I mean, you can just scribble DOT on the sidewall.
I just fucking stand dude. That's pieces of shit.
But yeah.
But apparently, like for the Vitor drift ones are grippy and they last.
I haven't tried them yet. Rafa was on them yesterday and he liked them. He said they were pretty good. He said they were comparable to REs.
Really?
That's what he said.
God damn, bro. I feel like old as fuck even more, the fact that Federal's not even a thing anymore.
I mean, you can still get them from some places, but I mean, I wouldn't even risk it because there's no DOT stamp on the tire. It's not even worth it.
And they delaminate.
They're like 660s now with the whole delamination issue. I don't know if Falcon has fixed the 660 issue, but
Damn.
I know some people are still delaminating on those tires. But like when I first tried 660s when they first came out, dude, those things were so fucking fast. Those things were great.
I thought that was like one of the prime 200 treadwear tires.
It was when they first came out, and then they changed the compound, and then that's when they started having like the D-land issues. So.
No, like tire engineering is like it's an interesting rabbit hole to get into.
It is. There's a lot of info on tires and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Like sometimes I'll just kind of look it up and I'll see like random tires and I'm like, oh, what is this?
My autism has been like driving me down like that like manufacturing, and it's just like
Yeah.
do that iCarly thing, just like things I didn't know I needed to know, but now I'm happy that I know.
I know, right?
All right, so since I'm pretty sure the battery life is about to run out, and the race is like an hour away.
Oh yeah.
How does it feel to go sub 350? Since you mentioned it earlier, like if you want to go for that again, you want spotters just because it's getting sketchy. But to like the average person, how does it feel to like do that time on the street in a car?
So it's honestly fun. I mean, obviously adrenaline's going if you're going that quick at T. The only thing I can say really for sub 350 is be aware, be careful, know where to line your car up for the turn, know your exit point, know your entry point, know your braking. If I were to attempt a sub 41, because right now the record's out of 41, the speed is pretty sketch. Like the speed I was carrying into second bridge, I was going like 105.
Yeah, because you're just fucking
going into second bridge, and it's scary because if you lose brakes going into second bridge, you're gonna go into the rail because it's literally downhill like this, and then the rail's here, and then the turn is like right here. So you have to brake really sharp and then like turn in. So if you don't have brakes for it, it's really sketch. So obviously when you do bridge to bridge or any other place for that matter that you're timing, you know, always tap brakes, you know, here and there. You don't have to necessarily dive into the pedal. Just tap brakes, get a feel for it, so that way you kind of feel if you still have brakes left or if they're kind of fading. Obviously another telltale sign for brake fade or overheating the brakes or boiling over your brake fluid as well. That's a whole other topic that can be delved into.
That's also another great autism.
Obviously another telltale sign is your brakes going red or smoke coming out of the brakes while you're driving, or if you got no brake pedal feel. Don't do AutoZone pads, please. You're going to save yourself a full-on nightmare from AutoZone brakes. But if that's what you have to work with, then just minimize your braking. Just be careful with it, especially driving downhill. Uphill, maybe not so much depending on where you're at. But if I were to do it again, 100% spotters, because when I did 41, I had spotters. I don't want to fucking worry about traffic or anything. I just want the road cleared because that's the only way really to do it. It really is. Like there's no other way. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't, to be honest. Because my previous time was a 47 and that was in my EG. And I was attempting in the FK8. That's when the FK8 was literally on V730s, reaction coilovers, and just brakes. I had no intake, no charge pipes, I had no nothing. The car was basically bone stock at the time when I did it.
At the run then.
Huh?
You only had one chance at the run before the heats up then.
Back then the car wasn't overheating. Stock, the car doesn't overheat at night. Like that, yeah. After I put the intercooler, that's when I started having issues. because the core is so thick, and it blocks a lot of the flow from the front, from like the front lower grill section of the bumper. That's a whole other discussion on FK8 cooling issues. I can talk about that for fucking hours.
We might actually separately do this.
That's a whole nother topic for FK8 owners out there who need help with cooling issues or anything. You can always hit me up.
Properly cool your
Yeah, that's a big thing for FK8 owners is cooling, obviously. But yeah, I've been kind of wanting to do a 39 or at least sub 40 minimum. It's just me finding that day where I'm in the groove, and obviously when the guys can spot the road, because that's the only real way to really do it. To be honest, it's too fast, too high speed to do that. Like if you're doing like 4 flat, I want to say anything past like a 45, that's the territory where it's like, okay, you need spotters, just because a lot of the turns are pretty blind. Like Dead Man's Corner is pretty blind. Like when I did my bridge to bridge, I literally hucked the inside. I didn't care. So, and it's a blind turn. You won't know unless there's a car literally right there and you hit them if you don't have spotters. So it's like, you know what I mean? So, if conditions were perfect and car was perfect, and I knew I could do it, and the guys would want to, I would do it again, for sure. I would like to. I mean, go out with a bang. That'd be kind of nice.
Damn, would that be like if you're like candy career then?
I mean, I don't see myself resetting backside record in FK8. It's too heavy. It's too heavy of a car to really do it. Uphill, maybe. I mean, I could do that, but nobody times uphill. It's only downhill.
No.
I mean, the EJ was when I was driving the EJ. I want to say that was more when I was in my prime driving canyons. To be honest. Obviously before my surgery, but I don't think I'll be that quick downhill again, like I was in my EJ.
Yeah.
My EJ, that's when I was the most comfortable downhill. Don't get me wrong, I'll still drive downhill, no problem, but I won't go 10/10 like I used to. I'm just not at that. I'm not at that point anymore. Driving like 10/10 all the time in the mountain. I find myself trying to more get into it at track. But that in no way means that I do not love driving canyons anymore. So please do not think that. I love canyons. That's where I started driving. That's how I learned how to drive. And that's how I met most of my friends, like Ramon and Jay, for the past 10, 12 years. But that is kind of on my bucket list. Do sub 40 and then kind of take a chill for a bit and then kind of start focusing more on track.
Sub 40 would be fucking retarded.
That would be that's the goal, because honestly there's 2 people right now kind of getting close to it, and it's kind of making me a little nervous. So it's kind of making me it's kind of pumping me up again to want to get to do it, because I'm seeing people doing more times now. So it's making me like, okay, more people are kind of getting into it again, more people are timing. So it's kind of pumping me up, because back when I did my 41, people were timing a lot more, and people were more going up frequently, and it was a more fun time. To be honest, it's kind of chilled out a little bit though.
Yeah.
But I wish GMR would reopen soon, but probably won't be reopened until next year.
I know.
Yeah, the fire kind of got out of hand. So.
Well, I mean, we could run GMR now. We just bike it.
I don't got the legs for that, dude. Fuck.
The closest I've come to dying on GMR is on a fucking bicycle. Not in a car, in a fucking bicycle.
Really?
Yeah!
No shit. That's a nice bike, though.
Walmart.
Man. Yeah.
Damn.
But, the goal is, in the Type R, is to sub 120 at streets, clockwise and counterclockwise, without aero in the car. Obviously before the hill climb event next year. And then obviously at Bun Willow, 57 or 56, I'll be happy with it. No aero in the car, just as it sits. Then I want to start doing an aero package on it, maybe putting more power in it, doing some more suspension stuff to the car, and then kind of taking it from there. Because I noticed a lot of people are kind of giving up on the chassis, because it's kind of in the gray area, right? Like it's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's kind of like dead smack in the middle, and especially like power-wise, like stock. It's still a fantastic car, but I feel like there's a lot of other cars now in the market that can really like challenge that car, like the new Elantra N, for example.
Yeah, well, I mean, it came out at an odd time, like in like car
The
manufacturer
FK
cycle.
came
It came
out
out at a really odd time.
And honestly, it's kind of crazy because I would have figured for a Type R and for the type of car that it is, there would be a lot more suspension support for it, like arms and all this other stuff. There's virtually not much on the market. Like my car still has all stock arms except for an SPC rubber upper camera arm. That's literally it. I only have rear sway
Shout
bar.
out to SPC. Haven't heard that in a fucking while.
I know, right? All it
Holy
has
shit.
is MCS coilovers and just the rear sway bar and the rear camera arm. That's all it has. Everything else is stock arm, stock rubber bushing. RV6 makes press-in spherical bearings, but you have to cut the bushings out of the arms.
That's a lot of
Press
fucking
them in
work.
manually.
That's a lot of fucking-
I don't mind doing it because I'm probably going to end up having to do that. But the main thing for those cars, especially for front-wheel drive cars that have the compliance bushing, that's where the most deflection is on those cars. Trailing arm and compliance. So those are probably going to be the two major bushings I'm going to do. I probably won't do the front lower control arm or the rear control arm or the bushing that goes into the knuckle. I probably won't do it. But I just wish there was more stuff for it. You know, there's especially for that car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for like the new GRs and all that stuff, gang load of shit came out
It's-
like ASAP. But I feel like it's a more popular platform than the FK8 was. The FK because a lot of people have.
When the FK dropped, it was so like.
It was very expensive.
Yeah.
It was super expensive. Even when FO5 first popped out, it was super
Stupidly
expensive.
expensive.
There was a blue one in Florida when they first dropped.
You sent that one in the chat.
It was on. They had it for $105,000